There we go. Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Hitting the Wall. I am your host, Kyle Walker. Thank you for joining me this evening. It's good to be back after having last week off. Apologize for not being here. This is a show where we make sure we stress and talk about and take care of our own mental health and having good mental health. Last week, I needed the time off. I needed the week of not having to worry about the show, and so I took it. There was just stuff going on, and it was just better for me to not worry about doing the show. So I want to apologize for not being on last week, but I needed it. I'm glad to be back on this week, as it looks like we have plenty to talk about as the world turns, I suppose. And so, of course, the first thing that we're going to need to discuss right now is the biggest thing going on in the news right now, and that is the coronavirus. What is it, the COVID-19 virus that's going on right now? It is all the rage, all the news. That is all anybody is talking about. So I suppose if we're going to discuss anything along the lines of what's going on in the world, that is where we have to start. Of course, the first thing to bring up is the mass panic that is being caused by said virus. Apparently, toilet paper is now in short supply. I do want to offer to everyone, I have plenty. I had plenty before this outbreak, so if you need a roll, I'm sure we can work out a little something. Perhaps a little donation to the show might be something that you could do in order to get a toilet paper roll from me, because I have plenty. We can make a deal. So yeah, a little donation to the show. I'll give you a roll of toilet paper if you find yourself short. But apparently the stores are out of them. The stores are out of toilet paper and hand sanitizer. So there we go. That is the extent of the virus right now. I know that I have made light of it, especially if you follow me on social media. In the US of A, it is not that big of a deal. It is a bigger deal overseas. I just want to say I get that. I understand that. So I don't mean to make light of the people who have lost their lives from this situation. But as far as our own little country here is concerned, it has gotten a little bit ridiculous. Just the press coverage has been obnoxious, to say the least. So here's what we've got going on. Okay, so as of, I was looking right before we started the show. In the US, we have, I think, 23 confirmed deaths from coronavirus. We have no idea how many people are actually infected. Apparently there was not a reliable test kit put out for quite the while. So they're playing catch up right now, trying to see who's infected, who's not. They have 23, again, at last I heard, confirmed deaths. Okay, 23 is bad. It is not exactly a situation where we're all going to die suddenly and painfully. Not the case. So I am just going to simply say maybe we throw a little, pump the brakes a little bit, throw a little caution. Let's not get bent out of shape or up in arms about this. We don't need to buy every roll of toilet paper off the shelf. I think we're all going to be fine here. But that's the thing with coronavirus. Now, I did see something, and I thought this was interesting. I can't guarantee you that these numbers are accurate, but I imagine they're close. So what I found was, it says, if you're worried about washing your hands due to, let's say, the 23 people who've died from coronavirus, don't forget to go to therapy due to the 45,000 people that die each year from suicide, and eat healthy due to the 80,000 people that die each year from diabetes, and then exercise regularly due to the 600,000 people that die from heart disease. That kind of puts things in a little bit of perspective, at least as far as I'm concerned, on coronavirus and just kind of where it ranks right now, because where it ranks right now with 23, it's really not that scary, in my opinion. Your biggest risk factors, of course, are the people who are at risk anytime there's a new virus or anytime there's a new flu strand, anything. The elderly, of course, are most at risk. And right now, it sounds like those are the people most affected by coronavirus, are the elderly. They are always at risk. People with secondary conditions are also at a higher risk. So I feel like I'm the one who can actually say things about this, because I do have a secondary condition that puts me at risk, at a higher risk than all of you normal people, whatever normal might be. I have a heart condition. I've had 2 open heart surgeries. I am definitely more susceptible to coronavirus than the Joe Schmo regular person. And I'm still not worried about it. Okay? What do we do about coronavirus? Well, we wash our hands. And that's really been the biggest thing that anyone has come out with. Make sure you're washing your hands. It's astounding to me that this has become like this whole big new craze. Honestly, I feel like it's something we should have been doing the entire way, all along. Everyone, just go ahead and wash your hands. Practice good hygiene. Let's, maybe try and cough into the Kleenex or sneeze into the Kleenex or whatever your situation is. But it's funny the light that's being shown on the way that we do things, just because now there's this potential global pandemic, and it's bringing to light that we need to wash our hands. So, okay, well, there we go. Now, we've got that, and again, I'm of the opinion that if we're going to beat this, if you're going to defeat your enemy, you need to know your enemy. And so this is, as I bring a little humor here, I'm going to go ahead and studying the enemy. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I got you figured out. Anyway, I've been dying to use that joke. Still been dying to use it. So I do want to tell you a funny story as it relates to coronavirus that just happened today. And again, I think this is the absurdity that has come from this, not from the disease, but from the coverage of it, from the panic around it. So I got an email today from my daughter's soccer league. My 10-year-old plays soccer. She plays it very well, and she plays it at a high level in our community. And they wanted to inform all the parents that they're aware of the coronavirus, they're aware of the precautions that need to be made and the steps that they need to take and changes and this, that, and the other. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, yeah, well, they're watching it. If your kid is sick, don't take them to play soccer. Like, that seems very simple in my mind. But what they have now come up with, in the infinite wisdom of this league, and if you are a friend of my personal Facebook page, you saw me ranting on this morning, they have now eliminated the two team captains shaking hands before the game, and they've eliminated the two lines at the end of the game where you walk by, good game, good game, good game, good game, good game, and high five the other team. That, eliminating those two things, is how the soccer league is going to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Okay. If you have not seen small child people from beginning stages all the way up through probably up to the pros play soccer, there's infinitely more contact between players during the game length than there is in any high five good game situation afterwards. So maybe we just need to switch to bubble soccer, where you blow up the big inflatable and you put it around your body and everyone just kind of slams into each other and you go bouncing 100 feet away. Maybe we need to go to bubble soccer. But I think eliminating the pre-game captain's shaking hand and then the post-game, good game, good game, good game, I think that's about the stupidest solution to this problem I've heard. And there's been a lot of stupid solutions to the problem of this potential global pandemic. So you guys, maybe I'm overreacting, maybe I'm just a bit jaded, or I don't know. Call me what you want. But I read that and immediately just face-palmed myself. I won't do it now, because another way to combat coronavirus is to not touch your face. But you didn't know that, or maybe you did. But yes, don't touch your face and you won't get coronavirus. But anyway, a lot of events are being canceled due to the coronavirus. I have a big marathon coming up this weekend. They for a couple days were really seesawing and hem-hawing on if this event was going to happen. They just came out yesterday and said, yes, the event is still on. Here are the precautions that they are going to take. Also a little ridiculous. During packet pickup, they're going to ask people if they've been out of the country in the last 2 weeks. That is their screening process, and you can either answer yes or no. No, I have not been out of the country in the last 2 weeks. I haven't been out of the country in 40 years, because I've never left the country. So I think I'm good. But yes, the Baton Memorial Death March is still a go in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and that is coming up on Sunday. Now, if you are someone who does not know about the Baton Memorial Death March, it is actually a super cool event, again, held in Las Cruces at the White Sands Missile Range, and it's to honor the veterans of World War II who participated in the actual Baton Death March. Now, over in the Philippines, there was a little plot of land, a peninsula, I believe it was, called Baton. We had about 1,000 U.S. servicemen there, and then I think they said about 9,000 Filipino servicemen there. And we are on the same team fighting the Japanese. They lost the battle. They had to surrender. They were captured by the Japanese, and then these 10,000 men were forced to do, I think it was about a 65-mile march to the POW camp. The conditions were brutal. The Japanese guards were vicious. If you fell behind or you were injured, you were executed. There was no, let's get you medical help so we can get you to the POW camp. If you didn't keep up, you were just shot on sight. And that was really it. I mean, that was war. That was how it was in World War II. And so the survivors were marched, or the people who surrendered, the POWs, were marched 65 miles from Bataan to the base. And not everybody made it. There were a lot of people who fell along the way. And so now, every year, they have the Bataan Memorial Death March in New Mexico. Now, I believe this is its 31st year, and this is my second time participating in this event. So I'm really excited to go back. I did it back in 2018. When I did it in 2018, we were fortunate enough, I believe we met 5 survivors from the Bataan Death March. Now again, that was in 2018. These men are all in their mid to upper 90s, and the last I looked, there are 3 U.S. servicemen remaining alive. One couldn't travel there last year, so I don't imagine that his health was improved enough to be there this year. So there might be 2 left. And again, a lot's happened in a year. I could get there and there could be none. And that generation, again, they're called the greatest generation for a reason. It's accurate, and there will never be a bigger group of more badass men than the ones who participated in World War II. And so it's really an honor to go. And if there are no survivors left, let's say I go this year and there's no survivors left, then I still want to just put out all the love that I can for them, for their families, for what they did, even though it was back in the 40s. It was, I mean, we're getting close to it being almost 100 years. Like, we're like 80 years almost from World War II. That's crazy. But again, if we forget about our history, we're doomed to repeat it. So if you don't know about Bataan, go read about the real fight on the peninsula of Bataan. Go read about the Pacific theater of World War II. Watch some of the movies. Some of the World War II movies are the best movies you can ever see. Just don't let these men of history just kind of fade away into the distance, as we keep moving forward, which is what we do. So I'm super excited to get back down there on Sunday. I'm going with the folks from Team Fidelis, so I'm rocking one of my TF hats tonight. Always a great group of us that go down there, so I'm really excited. I think we're going to have 15 Team Fidelis members. And again, you guys have heard me talk about Team Fidelis before on the show. It is a veteran outreach organization that I helped found about 5 years ago. That are just, we're in the battle of combating veteran suicide, which, for the longest time, the big number was 22 a day, 22. I'm always so happy to say that is actually an inaccurate number, because due to the efforts of Team Fidelis and other groups like us, that number has come down. Okay, now it's anywhere between 18 and 20 a day. Now that, again, that may not seem like a big deal, but those numbers add up in lives that are being saved and helped and bettered due to our nonprofit that I help run and others like us. So the folks from Team Fidelis, this is something we like to do. We're kind of doing it every other year, but we all get together. We're going to go down. We're going to do this march. So if you don't follow Team Fidelis on Facebook, go follow Team Fidelis. It's going to be kind of a fun follow on Facebook, especially this weekend, because of course there's going to be just a ton of pictures and videos coming out, and it's a pretty fun group. So I'm super excited to be heading down there with them, with the TF folks. They are just, kind of an extension of family to me at this point, because I know them all so well. We have done so much together in the last 5 years. So it's really like a family vacation almost. Like, for serious, it really is. And so I can't wait to get down there and go see the sights and take all the pictures and have all the laughs with my Team Fidelis family. So that'll be super cool. Now, like I told you, the goal of Team Fidelis is ending the epidemic of veteran suicide. One of the ways to do that is, just good mental health. And that's kind of how it translates into this show, because, our main focus is mental health, having good mental health, kind of taking care of yourself. And so that's just kind of the next place that we're going to go to. And I saw something on Facebook that I wanted to share. And let me pull it up here on my phone, because I kept the picture of it. And again, we're segueing here. And it says something, and this is all about, celebrating victories and stuff. And it says marriage, engagement, pregnancy, A new child are all amazing things to celebrate, but they are not the only things. Don't forget to celebrate your friend who ran a marathon, who left a toxic relationship, who went back to school, and who is taking steps to heal from trauma. And I feel like that's one of the big goals that Team Fidelis does. Yeah, there's the great things that happen with your family, but then there's also the other things in life to celebrate. We go to Baton to kind of celebrate really the human spirit and the things that we can do, because trust me, Baton is no cakewalk. It is the most difficult physical challenge that I have ever been through. And so for our newbies, who I see one popping up right here in the chat room, Mr. Brian, Baton is not like anything you have ever done before. So please be ready. But under the heading of celebrating victories and supporting people, even in the things that aren't, it's not a wedding, it's not a new kid, but we need to get better at celebrating each other and celebrating the things that we all go through together. And through social media, like, that is the easiest thing in the world to do, but we don't do it. And I'm going to give you an example. I posted something on Facebook today, and I normally don't do those chain deals, post this, tag this, blah, blah, blah. I really don't normally do that. But this one today really caught my attention, and here's what it said. And it was another member of Team Fidelis who tagged me in this to get it started. And it says, fellas, let's do this for 75% of all suicides that are committed by men. All right? It says, all too often, some men find it easier to criticize each other for themselves instead of building each other up. With all the negativity going around, let's do something positive. It says, upload one picture of yourself and only you. And I thought this was really a great idea. And then you tag X amount of friends in it so that they can do the same thing. And I already know what's going to happen. So many people are going to see it, and it's even on my page. You're going to see it on other people's pages if they choose to participate. And you know what our reaction is? You know what the first thing that we do is? Someone's going to shit on it, right? That's what somebody's going to do. Somebody's going to say something snarky, and they're going to try and be funny, and they're going to just crap on this great idea of being supportive of one another. I already have a list of 10 of my friends who I just know are waiting for the moment that they're going to just say something stupid on this post to try and knock it down, instead of trying to build it up. And that's just so indicative of how we are as a society anymore, that we see something or someone trying to be potentially positive, and we take our smart ass little shot at it. And that's kind of where we are. Think of all your friends who are trying to do something, who are trying to build something. Perfect example, if you're my friend, I'm trying to build a podcast. I'm trying to build a show, and after 3 years, it's stopped growing. Think about your friends who are trying to grow a business, who maybe bought that hardware store, or trying to open a restaurant, or they've got a boutique, or they've got a consignment shop. Think of your friends who are trying to build something, and then think about the way that you reacted to them. Do you say, how can I help you? Or do you shop there? Or do you just try and get like something free? Oh man, why don't you hook me up with this? And trust me, I'm as guilty as anyone else. I am totally guilty of doing that unless I stop and I think, how can I support them rather than just try and get something free from them? Okay, and it's the same thing with this show, and that's kind of where I'm going to next. We're changing this show, okay? There's no way I can have this conversation without just sounding like I'm being a whiny little bee, and I'm really not trying to be a whiny little bee, but this isn't working. It's not. I just can't get the support and the followers and the viewers and, of course, the financial support that I want. Now, trust me, I'm not the only podcast who has had this problem. This is an ongoing thing. So I watch a political podcast guy. He has a 3-hour show, and he broadcasts the first hour of it free on Facebook, so everyone can just watch the first hour. And it's crazy because I'm watching him, and I'm looking. He's got 28,000 viewers, 29,000 viewers, 30,000 viewers, and he's got like 40 likes, and maybe 30 likes, or maybe it gets up to 50. It's just he's putting this out there, and people are watching. But there's not that feedback. There's not the, oh man, like or love or share or comment or the stuff that I ask for every week. People aren't doing that even on a show that's being viewed by thousands of people. So for whatever reason, it seems that the Facebook aspect of this is not really working well. So we're going to make a change. This probably, maybe, Not 100% sure yet. This will be one of the last shows that we do live on Facebook. And the reason is the shows that are here live on Facebook are not finished products. I hit go live and the little blue light comes on and people hop in at various points during the show, and here I am just blabbing away. And if you come in 10 minutes late, then you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. You don't know where I am. What am I talking? Who am I talking to? Where are we at? What? And so you're just kind of lost. But you've maybe already seen 10 minutes of the show. You were 10 minutes late, watch 10 minutes, and then you're gone. Nobody's coming back for more. Okay, it's like, okay, well, I've seen enough, and away I go. Because I can see the views up here in my top left. They go up and down. People get up to maybe 10 people in, then down to 2, and back and forth. So what we're going to do, or what we're planning on doing after talking it over with my promotions department, is I'm going to record episodes. I'm going to send it to promotions. They're going to get it all doctored up. We have a super cool intro for the show that my promotions department made. Like, it's a really cool intro. But when you watch it live on Facebook here, you don't see it. All right, I hit record or I hit go live, and then you just see my stupid face smiling at you. You don't see the cool intro that they've put. You don't see the graphics that are used during the show, because if you watch it live on Facebook, it's like, okay, I've seen it. It's not like you're going over to the YouTube channel and watching it there. You're not watching the finished product that we end up putting on YouTube or on the website, because website traffic is non-existent. So what we're going to do, like I said, is just record. I'm going to record an episode. I'm going to send it to them. They're going to doctor it up. They're going to make it look pretty. They're going to make it sparkle. And then they're going to drop it here on Facebook. They're going to drop it on Spotify. They're going to drop it on iHeartRadio, on iTunes, on the website, on YouTube, on Stitcher, and on all the places that this podcast really is, but nobody goes to, because you get your little snippet on the Facebook Live and then you're done. And I get it. I get it. I'm not knocking it. That's how I do it too. I watch 1 free hour of a guy. I don't pay for the subscription, and I don't seek it out after that. I watch him on Facebook if I catch him live, and then I'm done. But it works for him because he's awesome, and it does not work for me because I'm me, and yeah. So that's what we're going to start doing. That is the plan. We're going to start recording the shows, and we're going to start sending them out as finished products for everyone to watch. And then hope maybe that's what catches on. Maybe that finished product is what you want to share on your page or tell your friends about. And then also, if you want to be a guest, if you have a friend who needs to be a guest, if you were someone who has thought about sponsoring an episode or a month of this show, I can have you on your schedule. Okay, I can have your friend on their schedule. You don't have to be here at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night. We can record, we can make it look pretty, we can put a logo on the screen for your business if you're wanting to sponsor a show, and then we can get it out to everyone. Because trust me, if you sponsor a show, we do a show, I put a finished product out, and then I use part of that money to boost, which is all I really want to do. It's not like I'm trying to buy a yacht. Thousands of people in a targeted area will then see the show. It is the cheapest advertising you could ever hope to do with the widest reach. Or at least, I can't back that up, but in my opinion, that's what it would be, because on Facebook targeting, I can send it to whoever I want. So I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to take a new angle on this show. And again, I'm not whining. I've been doing this for almost 3 years. It's just not had the results that I want. So we're not quitting. We're not walking away. We're going to try and do things a little differently. If it works, great. If it doesn't, fine. But at least we're going to try. But again, as always, it comes down to you, my glorious and wonderful viewers who are logging off right now, as I can see. It takes you guys. It takes the likes. It takes the comments. It takes the shares. It takes you telling people about the show. If you enjoy the show, you say, hey, my friend Kyle does a podcast, and it doesn't totally suck. Why don't you listen? It mostly sucks, but it doesn't totally suck. Why don't you take a listen? And again, maybe if they go back to an episode we did 2 years ago, maybe that's the one that speaks to them and helps them through a situation. Because if you guys have been on this ride for the last 3 years, I think we've hit every topic possible from different angles, from different people, and from different perspectives. There has to be an episode out there that speaks to you or would speak to a friend in their situation. And of course, I'm always willing to talk about whatever if you guys just let me know. So those are going to be the changes. And again, I titled this episode Real Talk, and that's as real as I can be. What we're doing ain't working, but I'm not quitting. I enjoy this way too much to quit. So we're going to just do it differently and hope for better results. It still ultimately comes down to you. So go to the website, which is hittingthewallpodcast.com, and you can watch videos from there. You can hit the fan link page and maybe throw a little donation our way if you so desire. It all helps. You can also buy the t-shirt because the Instagram challenge is still going. Buy a t-shirt, Instagram yourself somewhere, tag the show in it. I have a special prize that I will give to the first person who does it, whoever that is. And if I have to mail you your special prize, I will. I have no problem doing that. So again, go to the website, hittingthewallpodcast.com. Get yourself a t-shirt. All right, there's different styles, there's different colors, there's different styles. You can get a hoodie, you can get a tank top, or you can get a unisex t-shirt, all with the show logo on it. You can get it in green, black, charcoal, blue, and then I think heather gray. So you can get the color, you can get the cut, you can get the style that you want. Take a picture on Instagram, tag the show in it, and go somewhere cool. Take a picture in front of Union Station or the World War I Memorial, the Negro League Baseball Museum, Arthur Bryant's, Jack Stack. There's 1,000,001 places in Kansas City to take an amazing picture. And then if you tag the show in it, I give you a special prize. Ta-da! Easy peasy. And you have a really cool t-shirt because my show shirts are awesome. Because my promotions people know what the hell they're doing. So that would be why. So that's it. Those are the changes that are coming your way. You have been warned. Now, I would say that we are not going to have a show next week because of St. Patrick's Day. Okay, well, we're not going to have a live show next week on St. Patrick's Day, but I'm going to get something recorded. We're going to get it gussied up, and we're going to drop our first new version of the episode sometime next week. And I will make sure that it is updated on the Facebook page so you know exactly when it's going to drop. And then I personally will even host a watch party for it, because that's another great way to get people to view. If you go on Facebook and do the watch party, people will watch. And that's actually a really cool feature. Joe just checked in. Sup, buddy? He has done a watch party for the show before, and it had great response. So there we go. If you are just now coming in late, Joe, you need to go back and kind of rewind a little bit to see where we're at and where we're going, because things are changing. And other than that, since I won't be talking to you on St. Patrick's Day, everyone have super fun, wear all the green, but be super safe. Super safe, super careful. Remember, there's 2 nights a year that are amateur night where you get all the people who don't normally drink and they decide, I'm going to go drinking. New Year's, St. Patrick's Day. So be super careful next week, okay? Everyone stay safe. Have yourselves a great weekend. Don't text and drive. Be good to each other. And again, no matter what change I make in this show, I still love you all dearly. I thank you so much for all your support in whatever nonsense I spew out there. And so again, I can't thank you enough. I will see you after Baton. And remember, like I told you a couple weeks ago, I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Good night.